You're wrong. I'm telling you, it's not like that at all. That's right. That's right.
The year was 1974. The lights blazed bright inside the ABC television studio. Muhammad Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world, sat across from legendary sports broadcaster Howard Cosell. 50 million Americans watched from their living rooms, expecting another typical Ali interview, filled with his famous poetry and bold predictions. But what happened next would shock the entire nation. Cosell leaned forward with his trademark intensity. "Champ, everyone knows you're the greatest boxer alive. But there's this martial artist named Bruce Lee, who people say is the fastest fighter they've ever seen. What would happen if you two ever fought?" The studio audience fell silent. Ali's eyes narrowed. Then, he said something that made jaws drop across America. "I'll tell you the truth, Howard. That little Chinese boy could probably beat me." Before we dive into this incredible story, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss stories like this. Comment below where you're watching from. The audience gasped. The crew members behind the cameras froze. Did Muhammad Ali, the man who declared himself the greatest, just admit someone could defeat him? The confession would spark debates that continue 50 years later. To understand why this moment was so shocking, you need to understand who these two men were in 1974. Muhammad Ali was at the peak of his fame. He had fought his way back from a 3-year boxing ban for refusing the Vietnam War draft. He was preparing for his legendary Rumble in the Jungle fight against George Foreman. Ali stood 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighed 210 pounds of pure muscle, and had hands that moved faster than most people could see. He had defeated every challenger who dared step into the ring with him. Ali was more than just a boxer. He was a cultural icon who stood up for his beliefs, no matter the cost. Young people loved him, old people respected him, and everyone knew his famous saying, "I am the greatest." For Ali to admit anyone could beat him was like hearing the sun say it couldn't shine. Bruce Lee, on the other hand, was still building his reputation in America. The 33-year-old martial artist from Hong Kong had recently starred in Enter the Dragon, which was taking American theaters by storm. But many Americans, especially older viewers, still didn't fully understand what Kung Fu was. They had never seen anything like Bruce Lee's lightning-fast movements and acrobatic fighting style. Lee stood only 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed just 135 pounds, 75 pounds lighter than Ali. To many people watching that night, the idea that this smaller man could challenge the heavyweight champion seemed absurd. But Ali knew something the audience didn't understand yet. He had been watching Bruce Lee's movies. He had seen the speed, the precision, and the devastating power that Lee could generate. And Ali, despite his famous pride, always recognized true talent when he saw it. The television interview had started normally enough. Cosell asked Ali about his upcoming fight with Foreman. Ali delivered his typical entertaining responses, dancing in his chair, throwing mock punches, and making everyone laugh. The champion was in his element, performing for the cameras like he always did. Then Cosell brought up Bruce Lee. "There's a lot of talk in Hollywood about this Bruce Lee fellow," Cosell said, adjusting his thick-frame glasses. "They say he's got some kind of special fighting technique. Some people are even saying he could take on anyone, even you, champ." The studio audience chuckled. The idea seemed ridiculous. How could a movie star challenge the heavyweight champion of the world? But Ali's expression changed. The playful smile faded. His voice became serious in a way that made everyone lean forward to listen. What most people didn't know was that Ali and Bruce Lee had actually met a year earlier in 1973. The meeting happened at a private martial arts demonstration in Los Angeles. Several Hollywood celebrities and athletes had gathered to watch Lee showcase his fighting techniques. Ali attended out of curiosity. He had heard wild stories about this martial artist who could supposedly punch faster than the eye could see and kick with the power of 3 men. Ali, always confident in his own abilities, wanted to see if the rumors were true. What he witnessed that day changed his perspective forever. Bruce Lee demonstrated his famous 1-inch punch, where he generated explosive power from just 1 inch of distance. The impact sent a 200-pound volunteer stumbling backward several feet. Then Lee showed his speed. throwing 6 punches in less than 1 second, so fast that several witnesses later swore they only saw a blur. But the moment that truly impressed Ali came during a sparring demonstration. Lee faced off against a professional karate champion who had 40 pounds on him. Within seconds, Lee had swept the man's legs, struck him 3 times in the chest, and stopped a kick an inch from the man's face. The entire sequence took less than 5 seconds. Ali, watching from the front row, shook his head in amazement. "That's something else," he muttered to his trainer, Angelo Dundee. "That boy moves like nothing I've ever seen." After the demonstration, Ali and Lee talked for nearly an hour. They discussed their different fighting philosophies. Ali explained the sweet science of boxing, how to read an opponent, how to control distance, how to conserve energy over 12 rounds. Lee shared his philosophy of being like water, adapting to any situation, striking from unexpected angles. "Your hands are fast, champ," Lee said with respect. "But in a real fight, there are no rules. No boxing rules, no rounds, no referee. Just survival." Ali nodded thoughtfully. "You got a point there, little brother. You definitely got a point." That conversation stayed with Ali. He recognized that Bruce Lee wasn't just a movie star doing choreographed fights for cameras. Lee was a true martial artist who had studied fighting systems from around the world and created something entirely new and devastatingly effective. So when Howard Cosell asked the question on national television, Ali remembered that demonstration. He remembered Lee's speed, his precision, and most importantly, his complete dedication to the art of fighting. The studio audience waited for Ali's response. Many expected him to laugh off the suggestion. After all, this was Muhammad Ali, the man who never backed down from anyone, who proclaimed himself the greatest at every opportunity. Instead, Ali leaned back in his chair and spoke with unusual seriousness. "Let me tell you something, Howard," Ali began. "Bruce Lee is the most skilled fighter I've ever seen. Not the strongest, not the biggest, but the most skilled. In a boxing match with boxing rules, I would win. I'm bigger, stronger, and I've trained for that specific fight my whole life." Cosell nodded, expecting this answer. But Ali wasn't finished. "But in a real fight? No rules, no gloves, no rounds? Man, I don't know. Bruce Lee knows how to kick. He knows how to strike with his elbows, his knees. He knows how to attack pressure points that can drop a man instantly. He studied this stuff his whole life, just like I studied boxing." The audience buzzed with surprise. This wasn't the confident Ali they expected. "That boy is fast, Howard. Faster than me. And he can generate incredible power from any position. In a street fight where anything goes, Bruce Lee would be very, very dangerous. He could probably beat me." The studio fell silent. Even Howard Cosell, known for never being speechless, took a moment before responding. "Champ, are you saying that a 135-pound man could defeat you?" Ali smiled, but his eyes remained serious. "Howard, I'm saying that size isn't everything. Skill matters. Speed matters. And knowing how to fight without rules matters. Bruce Lee has all of that." The reaction to Ali's statement was immediate and explosive. The next morning, newspapers across America ran headlines. "Ali admits he could lose," and "Champ says movie star could beat him." Sports radio shows lit up with calls from angry boxing fans who thought Ali had lost his mind. How dare he suggest that a movie actor could challenge the heavyweight champion? It was an insult to boxing, to America, to everything Ali stood for. But something interesting happened over the following weeks. Younger viewers started seeking out Bruce Lee movies. Theater owners reported that Enter the Dragon was suddenly playing to packed houses. People wanted to see for themselves what had impressed Muhammad Ali so much. More importantly, Ali's honest admission started a broader conversation about fighting, martial arts, and respect between different combat disciplines. For the first time, many Americans began to understand that martial arts wasn't just movie magic. It was a legitimate fighting system with its own strengths and techniques. Bruce Lee, who was in Hong Kong at the time, heard about Ali's comments. His response was characteristically humble and respectful. "Muhammad Ali is a true champion in every sense," Lee told a Hong Kong newspaper. His honesty and his willingness to recognize skill in other fighting arts shows his greatness more than any boxing victory ever could. I have tremendous respect for him. The mutual respect between these two legends became the real story. They represented different worlds, Ali from American boxing, Lee from Asian martial arts, but they shared a common dedication to their craft and a genuine appreciation for true skill wherever they found it. Several months later, when Ali defeated George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle, one of the first congratulatory telegrams he received was from Bruce Lee. It simply read, "You showed the world that speed and intelligence defeat power. Congratulations, champ. Your friend Bruce." Ali kept that telegram for the rest of his life. Tragically, Bruce Lee died in July 1973, just 1 year before Ali's famous television interview. Many historians believe that Ali's public acknowledgement of Lee's skill was partly his way of honoring his friend's memory and ensuring that Lee's contributions to martial arts would be remembered. The story of Muhammad Ali's confession about Bruce Lee teaches us several important lessons that remain relevant 50 years later. First, true confidence doesn't require putting others down. Ali was secure enough in his own abilities to recognize greatness in someone else. He didn't feel threatened by Bruce Lee's skills because Ali knew his own worth. That's the mark of genuine self-confidence, the ability to praise others without diminishing yourself. Second, respect transcends competition. Ali and Lee competed in different fighting worlds, but they respected each other's dedication and skill. They understood that greatness comes in many forms. You don't have to diminish someone else's achievements to celebrate your own. Third, honesty is more powerful than false bravado. Ali could have dismissed the question with a joke or a boast. Instead, he gave an honest, thoughtful answer that surprised everyone. That honesty earned him more respect than any boastful claim ever could have. People remember his humility in that moment more than they remember many of his victories. Fourth, never judge someone by their size or appearance. The audience laughed when Cosell first mentioned Bruce Lee because they couldn't imagine how a smaller man could challenge Ali. But as Ali explained, size isn't everything. Skill, speed, intelligence, and dedication matter just as much, sometimes more. Finally, the lesson that both Ali and Lee embodied. Continuous learning and respect for other disciplines makes you better at your own craft. Ali studied Bruce Lee's techniques and incorporated some of Lee's footwork principles into his own boxing style. Lee studied Ali's timing and distance control. Neither man was threatened by learning from the other. Instead, they both became better because of their mutual respect. Today, mixed martial arts, MMA, has proven what Ali understood 50 years ago, that different fighting styles each have their strengths, and the most successful fighters are those who can blend techniques from multiple disciplines. Ali's honest assessment was decades ahead of its time. The television interview that shocked 50 million viewers became a turning point in how Americans viewed martial arts and fighting sports. It opened minds, sparked conversations, and showed that even the greatest champions in the world could be humble enough to recognize excellence in others. Muhammad Ali's confession that Bruce Lee could probably beat me wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a demonstration of strength, wisdom, and the kind of honesty that true champions possess. As Ali himself said later in life, "The man who views the world at 50 the same way he did at 20 has wasted 30 years of his life." Ali never stopped learning, never stopped growing, and never let pride prevent him from speaking the truth. That's a lesson worth remembering, no matter your age or profession. If this story inspired you or taught you something valuable about respect and humility, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. We bring you stories of wisdom, courage, and life lessons from history's greatest figures. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Bruce Lee could have beaten Muhammad Ali in a real fight? What lessons did you take from this story? And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our next inspiring story.